For centuries, maps have been more than tools of navigation. They are records of belief, power, and knowledge. Every line drawn, every landmass included or excluded reflects what a civilization knew or claimed to know about the world. Yet some maps do not fit comfortably within accepted history. Some appear to show places that should not have been known. And a few reveal something even more unsettling: evidence of civilizations that were never supposed to exist. This story begins not with ruins buried in sand or cities hidden beneath forests, but with a single map, weathered, controversial, and long dismissed as a curiosity. At first glance, it appears ordinary, even crude, but upon closer inspection, historians notice details that should not have been possible for its time. Coastlines drawn with unexpected accuracy, landforms placed where no official records claimed knowledge, and markings that suggested settlements long forgotten or deliberately erased. The map surfaced in an archive where it had remained unnoticed for decades, catalogued but never seriously examined. When it was finally studied in detail, scholars realized it did not align with the dominant historical narrative. According to accepted history, the civilization that allegedly created it lacked the tools, reach, and knowledge to chart such vast territories. Yet the evidence was inked plainly on aged parchment. What made the map particularly troubling was not just what it showed, but what it contradicted. Entire regions were labeled with names that appeared nowhere else in historical records. Symbols marked what seemed to be cities, ports, or centers of trade, yet no ruins had ever been officially documented in those areas. To acknowledge the map's authenticity would mean admitting that history was incomplete, and that a civilization with advanced geographic understanding had existed beyond our awareness. At first, critics were quick to dismiss the map as a forgery. They argued that it could have been altered later, or created by someone attempting to fabricate importance. But as tests were conducted on the ink, parchment, and stylistic elements, those explanations became harder to defend. The materials matched the period they claimed to come from. The techniques used were consistent with known cartographic practices of the era. And most unsettling of all, some geographical features depicted on the map were only rediscovered centuries later through modern exploration. The map did not merely suggest advanced knowledge, it implied memory, knowledge passed down, preserved, and recorded by a civilization whose existence had been lost. This raised a disturbing possibility. History does not forget by accident alone. Sometimes it forgets because something has been removed. As researchers compared the map with satellite imagery and geological surveys, correspondences began to appear. Faint outlines of ancient riverbeds matched markings on the parchment. Unusual land elevations aligned with symbols indicating settlements. Areas long assumed to be empty wilderness showed subtle signs of human alteration. Terracing, soil composition changes, and unnatural alignments that hinted at organized activity. Slowly, a picture emerged of a civilization that once occupied vast territories, interacted with distant lands, and possessed a level of geographic awareness that challenged long-held assumptions. But where had it gone? Why did it leave so little behind? And how could an entire culture vanish so completely that only a single map remained to whisper its existence? The answer may lie in the way history is preserved. Civilizations that lose power often lose their voice. Records are destroyed, languages die, and stories are replaced by those of conquerors or survivors. If this civilization fell suddenly, through disaster, collapse, or absorption, its knowledge could have been scattered, misunderstood, or deliberately suppressed. Some historians suggest that later societies encountered remnants of this lost culture and absorbed fragments of its knowledge without preserving its identity. Maps copied from maps, details inherited without context. Over time, origins were forgotten, and the original civilization faded into obscurity. The map itself may have been one of the last surviving echoes, a final attempt to record a world that was already slipping away. Its creator may not have known they were preserving the only remaining proof of an entire people. What makes this discovery especially unsettling is what it implies about our understanding of progress. We often imagine history as a straight line, moving steadily forward from ignorance to enlightenment. But the map suggests something different, a cyclical pattern of knowledge gained, lost, and rediscovered. Advanced understanding does not always accumulate. Sometimes it disappears. The more scholars studied the map, the more resistance they encountered. Not all opposition was academic. Accepting the map's implications would require rewriting timelines, re-evaluating established theories, and admitting uncertainty in places where confidence had long been assumed. History, after all, is not just a record of the past. It is a foundation for identity. Today, the map remains controversial. Some institutions acknowledge it cautiously, others avoid it entirely. Excavations inspired by its markings continue quietly, often without public attention. In a few locations, evidence consistent with the map's suggestions has been found. Stone foundations, artifacts, traces of human settlement where none were expected. Yet no definitive announcement has been made. No bold declaration of a lost civilization unveiled to the world. Instead, the truth lingers in fragments, debated in journals, discussed in whispers, and studied behind closed doors. Perhaps the map reveals more than geography. Perhaps it exposes the limits of what we choose to remember. History is shaped not only by what happened, but by what survived, what was recorded, and what was allowed to endure. Entire civilizations can vanish not because they were insignificant, but because they were inconvenient to remember. The map does not shout. It does not demand belief. It simply exists, quiet, precise, and defiant. A reminder that the past is larger than the stories we tell about it, and that beneath the surface of accepted history, there are still truths waiting to be uncovered. In the end, the map does not give us certainty. It gives us doubt. And in that doubt lies the most powerful lesson of all. History is not complete. It is unfinished, fragile, and full of silences. And sometimes, all it takes is a single forgotten artifact to remind us of everything we do not know. Subscribe to this channel for more.